The following is incredibly delicious. Your taste buds have been advised.
Have you guys ever tried Wagyu beef? You wonder why it's so delicious? Well, stay tuned in this episode and we're gonna show you guys.
From the heart where flavor is forged, the man, the myth, the legend returns with another jaw-dropping recipe. Ladies and gentlemen, all those gathered, now we feast. And now your host, Big Mike the Chef 2K.
Welcome back to the Chef 2K's kitchen. We're not in the kitchen today, we're on another field trip. We're here with Brandon of Brant Lake Wagyu Farms. This is one of the products that I absolutely adore using.
Hey, I'm Brandon Ball with Brant Lake Wagyu. This is the main operation for the Brant Lake Wagyu stuff. We have the full blood and pure blood cattle on our farm, and then we have all the bulls that we send out to the partner producers.
The Nizneks are one of his partner producers, which we visited before, that kind of got us started on this journey. They're amazing. We've ended up from them now here. We've been to Cudlobe, so we've been all over the beef world. This is one of my favorite stops, so I've been so pumped for this.
Nizneks are one of our biggest partner producers as well, and we'll get anywhere from 300 to 400 calves from them. But the genetics that they use crossed with ours, their animals finish extremely fast and always grade gold and higher.
Well, shout out to the Nizneks.
Their animals finish the most efficiently. We'll have animals will start processing at say 500 days on feed, and their grading is already high. Grading just gets better as you keep feeding, and we max out at about 900 days on feed, but theirs instantly are that, and then the grading just keeps. But it's because of that Cudlope stuff that they have a really good rate of gain, and then the bulls that we're providing is what's giving us that genetic side, so it's a little bit quicker. The full blood and pure bloods do actually take longer to feed.
So it all starts kind of at Cudlope, then it just kind of fans out.
That's kind of slowly with the Angus side, because when we had a much bigger herd years ago with the family, we were 300 head. We went and bought, 60 cows from Cudlope. So we were using Cudlope specific cows, same as what Nizneks were doing. Nizneks are using Cudlope bulls. They breed with our bulls to their first year heifers. So that way their first year heifers always have the easiest calving. The second year that cow calves, it's into their commercial herd because they sell off the rest of their commercial Angus stuff. They got a pretty good demand.
And that's on their Angus side. So if that's their heifers, so Cudlope's genes are kind of in those heifers then?
Yes. I'm starting now that I have the cows here, I have the pen space, I'm retaining my own bull calves.
Okay.
So I'm able to take a specific bull, breed it to a specific cow, keep that bull calf, then use that bull calf as breeding for the other producers. Whereas before we were buying calves from a very well-known breeder, and she had all of the full blood, pure blood. She had that top of the line genetics.
But now you're starting to create that for yourself.
Yeah, instead of us going out and buying a bull for, $10,000.
Create it yourself.
We can create our own. I know exactly the genetic lines of that. We can trace back so many different things with that. We can do our test. I can get a couple calves for a couple years. If it doesn't work, try a different bull.
Try a different one.
Yeah.
So it's science.
Yeah. And then we're starting to do genetic tracing so we can know it's a who's your daddy test.
Wow.
So we can figure out exactly what bull bred that cow.
Who's your daddy test? Who's your daddy?
Now that we've connected the dots and dodged the media circus, because let's be honest, this kind of star power does demand attention, it's time to meet the other half of Brant Lake's operation.
Hi, I'm Michelle, owner-operator of Brant Lake Wagyu. My son and I actually run this business together, and we wear a lot of hats. I've been doing this for 30 years, been in the business since a very young age. We launched Brant Lake Wagyu in 2012, the brand. When there was brands out there that was grass-fed, sterling silver, Wagyu hit the tables and people are saying, what is this? And we want to feed people, and we were interested in feeding premium, prime-raised beef. And Wagyu is very different, and it takes a long time. Farmers everywhere, doesn't matter what we're raising, are very passionate about what we do. And you're going to see that passion discovering our ranch and our business, the butcher shop and what we do right across the country. We're not just a butcher shop. I distribute right across Canada. I'm working on export, and I'm working on developing value-added product, and we're carcass utilization. Wagyu has got this perception that it's only for the wealthy, which is untrue. Everything in that carcass is edible. Everything in that carcass is highly marbled. So we have a product that is desired by everybody. You know,
it's amazing.
So it's
I've worked
amazing.
I've worked with it in many different restaurants.
Yeah.
I feel privileged that I am standing here right now because that was a product that was very sought after to chefs in the industry in Canada. The taste of the beef, the quality of the beef, the marbling, everything it's exceptional. It's a step above everything else. It really is.
Of course, fans of the show know Mike's intense love for all things Wagyu. So stepping onto this hallowed ground is a big deal. Frankly, it's a surprise he didn't kiss the soil.
We increase price based off of demand. Now, we are not like everybody that changes their prices every single month.
Yeah.
I got certain prices in my butcher shop that's been the same for 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. Tariffs helped us, if anything.
Yeah.
Because there is a tariff limit on how much Wagyu you can import into Canada already. That got exceeded. All of a sudden, those tariffs hit again. Mom all of a sudden got orders for top sirloin, grind, trim, stuff that was just like, oh, how wide do you want this now? So Mom's sales increased because suddenly people went, oh, we can get Wagyu in Alberta.
Chickens.
Chickens, I got mini chickens that are like this.
Do you get duck eggs?
Yep, ducks are on the other side of the barn.
They're
there.
like big, eh?
I got a bunch in the house.
Brandon's been around the cattle since he was knee-high to a grasshopper.
32 years.
Yeah, spent a lot of time with his grandfather, Jack Ball, and that's where we got introduced to the breed and to the cattle. I was in the feedlot business, I was in the food service industry, and my passion was to work with restaurants, and we launched Brant Lake Wagyu, the brand. We were located originally at Brant, which is east of here. That's hence the name Brant Lake Wagyu, and there is a lake out by Brant. We secured this property just west of High River, so about 20 minutes. We're in the foothills. This is cattle country, and this is where we raise 35 head of purebred and Wagyu bulls, and we have a purebred and full-blood cow herd as well. We feed them out for 2.5 to 3 years, so no different than the Japanese would. Then they go to market, and that's either through wholesale or through retail, right at the butcher shop where Brandon works. Wagyu is a Japanese breed.
Yep.
North Americans want to eat a piece of steak. So we said, okay, let's cross Angus, which is highly marbled,
Yep.
and let's cross it with a Wagyu animal. We have this animal that grades prime 98% of the time. In the industry, the standard is most carcasses is about 6 or 7% right now. It used to be about 3%. So people are getting better at what they're doing, better at breeding, better at feeding. That cross gives the consumer something exceptional to eat and affordable. But we also have value-added products. You know, the tallow—tallow is everywhere right now.
Yes, it's a
And guess
huge
what?
craze.
Wagyu have fat.
Do they ever?
It is gold. It is like gold. So liquid gold. So the products that come from any animal have value.
Yeah.
And we're passionate about making sure that people have access to affordable meat, healthy meat. We do not implant our cattle because we feed them as long as the Japanese do. So that kind of contradicts the whole purpose of putting on fat, obviously. As far as health-wise, antibiotics are used because we believe in treating our animals if they are sick.
Oh, well, we use antibiotics.
You know what? We use antibiotics.
Like,
we give
so
them to our
there you
kids.
go,
You
you
know
know?
what? There are withdrawals. You know, Canada raises the safest beef in the world.
Yeah?
We really do.
Wow.
And we need to tell people that what we do is for the people to raise a premium product that's healthy, that's accessible, and that's affordable. Doing that is one of our passions.
I was amazed. I never knew you guys had the butcher shop. So through meeting the Nesnicks and then talking to the Cudlow, then we found out that you guys actually had a butcher. I actually put in an order online. And she's like, I see your address. Like, why don't you go to the shop? I, I didn't know there's a shop. So I went to
bad
the
marketing,
shop.
isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
That's Brandon's fault.
no, you gotta get on it. Let us know it's
I know,
there.
I know.
Because I actually had a lot of
We
people
wear too
after
many
I went
hats.
there.
We
Yeah.
wear too many hats in our time.
But that is the problem, right? And
We're
you know,
gracious for you guys.
yeah, I'm gonna stay close to Brandon. I see babies out there.
Yeah, I know where the cranky ones are. A lot of them have calmed down a lot now, though.
Yeah,
so
because they're getting a little bigger.
Yeah. It's just something I've been born and raised in. Did it since I was a kid. Grew up in a 19,000 head feedlot for quite a few years. Went to school for ag management, majored in beef production, continued on with a Bachelor of Applied Science in agribusiness, and then finished off at Olds and got my butcher certificate. I'm not only raising the animals, taking care of them, I'm also working at the butcher shop, turning them into the beautiful steaks that everyone likes to consume.
I know what you're thinking. Who's this rugged meat wizard with the nerve to raise and process the goods? Oh, just wait. It gets juicier.
A manny, not a nanny. I'm a man nanny. to my cows. So I'm with them. I'm that midwife. I got to make sure when they're calving out, everything is going good. Making sure that calf is nice and healthy. I'm making sure the bulls are healthy for their breeding season. Everyone's kind of just a big family of pets. Everyone gets spoiled with treats too.
Yeah, we're completely vertically integrated, so we're true pasture-to-plate producers. You don't see that very often in the industry. You've got your cow-calf producer, then you have your feeding operation. Once they leave there, then they go into plant, and it's cargill, and it
so
goes
many
to box
hands
beef,
that are buying,
and then it goes to a grocery store, and we do all of that. Which gives us even more passion to sell and market our product and educate people. We can tell them about the cow-calf process. We can tell them about the feeding process, which is barley, which we grow here in Alberta.
We're following kind of traditional Japanese feeding methods, but we're also utilizing Alberta-style feeding methods.
Yeah.
In mornings, usually I gotta go check all the animals, check the chickens, check the ducks, check the pregnant cows to see if anyone's calved out. Check on the current pairs to make sure all the little baby calves are doing good, no one's getting sick or injured or anything. Check on the bulls, make sure they haven't been fighting too much. Feed the cows if I need to, and then I end up heading to the butcher shop for a few hours. So your boys are gonna have a yellow tag, and then the girls will have a white tag. It's the same with all my cows, have a white tag.
Yeah.
All the bulls are gonna have a yellow tag.
And then do you number them as to how they come every year type thing?
On the back of the tag, yeah. So the front tag will tell me who he belongs to.
Okay.
So that way if he gets lost, mom forgot him somewhere, I can, okay, you belong to 617.
Okay.
I know who he went to. And then the back of the tag, we usually put a number sequence. So if it was calf number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4.
Of the year.
Yeah. So we can see kind of the age of it.
Yeah.
Because you end up getting calves that are born a month and a half after the very first calf.
Oh, really?
So there is
they're
a bit,
not all coming. It's a window.
not, yeah, when you do natural breeding, I only have 2 bulls put out. So I get 2 cows calving every day. I've had a couple days where I had 4 calves in a day. I've only had the 1 set of twins this year. Every year it changes.
Okay.
Some years you get 10 sets of twins.
Yeah. Are you still getting the same volume out of those twins, or?
There's generally a smaller calf out of the 2 of them.
Just calf though, but by the time full grown in that market, it's gonna be the same
Nice
size.
thing with ours is if I have a teeny tiny little runt calf, he's got more than enough time in the feedlot to catch up to everybody.
Okay.
In a commercial setting, no, you don't want that. That little runt is gonna end up in the feedlot, gets processed, and he's super light. He doesn't finish like everybody else, and it's just kind of a waste of money.
Yeah.
So commercial stuff, guys are looking for that specific size. Twins with the Wagyu, they're not high milk producers, so it's not ideal for a Wagyu to be having twins.
I can move it up for them because they're all stranger danger.
And they're all hungry now.
They know that he's put food out?
Hey, you want a snack?
That's awesome.
Oh, he's eating.
This one.
That one's Ruby.
Ruby and Betty. Betty and Ruby.
And then Snow White is the other white one.
So they sensed that you just did that, and that's why they were all mad?
That's why they all come up.
Because they knew you just
They're waiting for me to go and feed. I gotta feed them hay bales.
Yeah.
This year I'm only retaining bull calves. I'll keep the odd heifer every year just to retain a herd.
Yeah.
If that mother happens to pass away, I will retain her daughter to keep her genetics in.
Going.
Yeah. We are always getting in newer bull genetics, so I don't ever have to worry about that crossbreeding stuff.
Yeah.
Most farms, they have a certain bull, and after so many years, they get rid of them and buy a new one. But they've got to get some new genetic line in. Or we will buy cows from somebody else, and then just to get that new genetic line.
Because if you're just keeping the same genetic line, it almost becomes, let's say, ancestral.
If you're just working it as a finishing program, do it as long as you want.
Yeah.
But at one point, you're gonna have to bring in cows back into the herd to kind of get those numbers back up and replenish it.
Okay.
I could have a specific cow in the herd, though, that she has the gene lines of her and her grandparents and parents.
Yeah.
That's stuff I want to keep.
Okay. So you're singling out the genetics here, because obviously you and your mom, like your mom's looking at all the ribeyes, and like you guys know where the best quality's coming from.
Yeah, she's seeing that finished product. I'm seeing
The
live. Yeah,
So now you get to see both together.
Yes, I get to see the actual steaks in the butcher shop, and then I can do trace back with her and go, okay, I know exactly where that came from. And then we can just duplicate it and go, okay, do it again, get that bull, get that cow, put them in the same pen. But I bring every single one of these carcasses will come into the butcher shop, and then we in the shop, me and the other two butchers, we then break all that up, but I can see every single muscle. Mom just sees the ribeye. I get to see every single
See, not a lot of farmers get to say what you're saying. You're actually breaking down your cattle.
Well, we look at the list and go like, hey, the ribeyes went this grade, the Denvers went this grade, the Delmonicos, all the hip cuts, all the shoulder cuts, and you can see that marbling change too. Yeah. I have some animals that the marbling is okay in the middles. Yeah. And then all of a sudden my hips and shoulders are higher grading.
Really?
I've had like a gold grade carcass that was the ribeye was gold, the tenderloin was gold, the strip loin was gold, but my hip and shoulders went platinum.
All right, we're gonna go feed some bulls. Brandon's gonna take me for a ride in the tractor. We're gonna go feed the bulls. Here we go. It's just such a peaceful existence.
And now, like his ancestors before him, Mike sets out to work the land and feed the livestock in hopes that one day they'll return the favor. Under Brandon's watchful eye, the two become essential players in the great circle of steak. To start, your classic modern-day tractor ride to collect hay. It's basically Uber Eats for cows, except the only tip you get is whatever hormones they dump while eating.
Okay, so one of these?
Two of these.
Two of these? And how many bulls are you taking this to?
35.
Okay.
I'll feed them, like this would last them a day.
Yeah.
So I'll put out two.
Just one.
I'll put out two. Yeah, just one.
And then they'll go to the other one tomorrow.
They'll pick through them
both
as much as they want. Yeah.
Okay, should I just get in when you get in there?
Yeah, once I come through the gate.
I'll close it behind you?
Yeah.
Okay. Bro, this is a stunning piece of land. Like, look at it. I know my way around a farm. A little.
Other side.
Other side, there you go. Billy, are you getting this? Start getting that cow, watch him. Hi, you go ahead. I'll be over here. Don't attack me. So these guys, like those guys that just ran the little, they're young, hey?
Yeah, so a bunch of those, the two with the horns, they would be my calves that I've retained.
Okay.
They're only 2.5, maybe getting on 3.
How old's he?
Billy's,
Or no, that's the big one I was looking at. How old's that guy? 4, 5?
10.
10?
I had one bull that lived until he was 16.
Really?
Wagyu have a long life.
They can't breathe out. Like,
Yeah, they can.
They can?
Oh, yeah.
All the way through?
We pulled semen out of him the last year he was alive. We couldn't use him for breeding because he had no teeth. He lost all his teeth from old age, so like he won't live on pasture.
Yeah.
Without teeth, he can't graze.
Yeah.
We ended up getting 500 and some odd units from him. Like it shocked the genetics place. Like you won't get much out of him.
Yeah.
All right.
Billy boy.
Like naturally, he can go and breed 20 to 25 animals with the Wagyu.
Yeah.
Other breeds, they're gonna be 10 animals more. But naturally, he can only breed 20 to 25 animals in a season.
Yeah.
He runs out of energy, he loses condition, he can't keep chasing them anymore.
Yeah.
I can go out, get semen extracted, and I could get 500 units from that one bull, from that one shot. Instead of him just breeding the 25, I can take those 500 units and I can now go artificially inseminate 500 cows. Because that gives me 500 split individuals. There's not as great of a
he's
chance.
doing it himself. You're getting one shot and one cow. That's it.
So when you do AI, you do have to put a cleanup bull out because sometimes the cows just don't catch. So you got to put a bull to make sure that they actually get pregnant. And you can start doing, you can do sex and semen. So you can just breed nothing but females or males. Bigger producers want steers or males because they more muscle. You get paid by weight. Your heifers marble better, but they're a smaller carcass. Billy.
Holy shit.
Billy's beef, bro. Look at him.
You guys been hitting the gym extra.
That's just summers, like spring is when they really start, because when they come back from breeding, they're skinny.
Really?
Oh, they lose all that muscle because they're building up energy for the summer.
To go
They get to eat and fight for most of the year, and for 3 months of the year, that's all they do. We've just started doing the full blood and pure blood stuff with Mom and I.
Yeah.
Growing up, we were strictly 300 head of Angus cows, but we had nothing but the Wagyu bulls.
Okay.
So we had always done that F1 cross. We now leave that F1 cross to our partner producers. It's a guaranteed program.
Yeah.
We know it works. We're the ones that are taking that smaller herd of 50, and I'm doing that different. I got full bloods, pure bloods, F1s, F2s. So F1 is just 50% Wagyu, F2 is 75%, F3 is like that 85, and then you dip into your full blood and pure blood. Pure blood is your 98% and up. Full blood would be 100%. But it has to stay 100% on everything going back. So the parents, the grandparents. The second you breed to 99.9%,
it's no longer.
It drops to a pure blood. So Japanese are the ones that have all of that 100%
lineage.
And that's why their stuff looks.
And they won't let that out of the country anymore,
No,
right?
that ban came in place in the 80s.
And you guys got genes and lineage from...
My grandfather imported a bunch of stuff. There was a bunch of other guys that imported it as well. So technically we have a North American Wagyu, because we have had that genetic line, those specific ones, in North America for 35 years. We have not brought anything else new.
No.
You can't, so we have...
Because they won't let you, right?
No, we have a very set gene line that we have in North America. Australians have the same. They had gotten a hold of stuff, and so that's why you have Australian Wagyu. And then you got your Japanese stuff, but they have different prefixtures, which is where you're getting all your different names.
Wagyu's, Kobe. Like
yes, it's just coming from the, so you got your Kobe. So all Wagyu is Kobe, not all Kobe is Wagyu. So it depends where it was raised.
Okay.
So our beef is a Alberta Wagyu. I don't have animals that come from out of the province. Everything is 100% Southern Alberta.
Okay.
The cows that we breed to, the bulls that we're buying are coming from Alberta. The bull, I reproduce my own bulls here. The feedlot that we're using, the grain that we're feeding, the processing facilities, most of our sales are Alberta.
Alberta.
What do you shy, Billy? A lot of them don't like strangers because they're so used to just me. The second someone new comes around, they're kind of, but if I go like that,
I'm sure if I did it, they would have went even further.
Feedlots are the same. They're so very curious.
Yeah.
You put anything out and they're going to come to it and check it out.
No,
but Wagyu are a very, very docile breed.
I was told different. That's hilarious.
Compared to your normal bulls, everyone's scared. Yes, they are a bigger frame. They do have very aggressive attitude. Wagyus are much more docile. Same with the cows.
Look, is that from fighting that big bump on his head?
Yeah. But they're the bulls, they'll come back and they've stepped on something and they got a sore foot. They were fighting and they got a sore shoulder. They get broken penises.
Really?
That happens.
That's a real beast.
He's done.
Yeah?
But once that breaks, it doesn't heal. That's it. No, they're not like a horse. It's more of like a bone. They still have blood vessels, but it's, he can go up and he pokes the butt cheek and it'll break.
Oh, dude.
So there are breeding injuries that just
happen. There's just so many people, from the outside looking in. There's such a misconception of what a farm really is.
Where that barley's coming from, the field right behind me.
I know, that's
like the feedlot that's sitting across Bosch's. Every feedlot essentially is getting all their grain from themselves or from the neighbors.
So
we are not trying to ship or silage. Your silage is all coming from the land direct. You do not want to be driving with a full truckload of silage for 20 minutes. The cost in trucking is stupid, and it's not. So a lot of guys they all provide their own barley silage, corn silage, and then the rest of that barley they're buying from the surrounding farmers. That's kind of keeping everyone's involved, everyone's kind of getting used.
Which is good, because farming has to be a community thing as well, right? The community has to be backing it, and they all work together,
it's not just us that are doing this, it's all the other families that we work as partner producers.
And I really want to stress that. Families, guys, our farms are still run by families. This isn't a factory like everybody thinks it is. Look around, this is it. This is the natural setting for these animals, and they're being fed amazingly. All real food, it doesn't get any better as far as I'm concerned.
Amen, Mike. Whether it's the Nizhniks, Kudlow, or Wagyu on the plains, what we've seen and keep seeing is passion for the land, for the animals, and for the food we eat. Let's be honest, we're gonna eat meat. That's not changing anytime soon. So why not eat the kind that was raised with love?
if you're doing something like this, that's because you have passion in it. Brandon, thank you so much for bringing us out here and literally just dumping a wealth of knowledge into us. Like, I'm walking out of this place, like I feel like I know this industry way better.
Yes, this wraps up part 1 of our visit to Brant Lake Wagyu, but we'll be back. Until then, support local farms, local businesses, and if you're ever in town, stop in and taste the difference. Because when something's raised with love, you can tell. Stay saucy.